strong, I'm bouncing back, Jack. Calling you out now. I'm calling you out. Never calling you back. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out now, 'cause you left me alone. I was charmed and disarmed. I should have known. Now you're ghosting me. I'll be toasting, you see. I'm calling you out now. You just played with my heart.
Thank you for joining me for part 2 of my conversation with relationship expert and author Kristine Grant. She's authored titles to include Relationshift, How to Write the Words You Really Want to Say, BFF, Be Friendship Focused, and the Be Friendship Focused A through Z Power Cards, Empowering Positive Attitudes, which you can find on Amazon.com. This episode opens with her song Calling You Out from her debut album, Love Letters, released under her pseudonymous name, Tina Rose. The album is currently available on all digital platforms. You can find the complete album by viewing this episode's show description. In part 2 of our conversation, we will talk about her journey and how she helps people tap into what she calls the higher heart, which repairs or enhances any desired connection with another, whether it be with family or an estranged friendship, a spouse or partner, or how to communicate effectively with the person you may have a crush on, or you may just want to attract more love in your life. And who doesn't want more love in their life?
And I almost quit after 9 months because of the harassment. And so the captain said, well, you know what, why don't you, I'll send you to typing school and you can be like you can write articles for our newsletter, and you can work in the office here, and I'll be there so nobody, will come at you. And, it's a whole more involved story than all of this, but so I went from there and then eventually transferred to another post. And I ended up teaching swimming to the children at the German Schwimmbad. So
Oh, wow.
the children of the officers and the enlisted that were there, including children that were disabled, intellectually disabled. And I really enjoyed it a lot. So my uniform went from, that ugly olive green color to to a bikini, and so I have lots of stories around that. It was quite an experience. And I think that when you I'm sure I don't have to tell you this, DJ, so because you've been in the military and you've traveled, when you have expanded yourself beyond the neighborhood you grew up in or what you always knew to be, you never see the world in the same way.
No,
again.
you don't. It changes you.
It broadens your horizon like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
It truly, truly does. So, back to what you were saying on the censorship with Facebook and such. Why are so many of us being censored in a way today?
Mm-hmm.
And when we're being censored, what do we do with those emotions? Sometimes we funnel them into places or scapegoat them onto others that may be close to us, and it causes more conflicts.
Yeah.
Are we happier because we were locked down? Are we happier to wear masks? Are we happier for a lot of things? I don't think so. So we are, I believe, at a turning point where people, through the pain and suffering of what's been happening and to witness what's going on in the world, are beginning to wake up and just say, enough.
Yeah.
And I'm worth it. And, we must stand up for who we are, not out of anger, but out of knowing, just really being present with taking the blinders off and saying, okay, I was hypnotized on this planet, or I was programmed or conditioned. Do I need to be? Is it true? What I've learned? Maybe not all of it's true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, like you said, one thing that we have seemed to have lost, and we always seem to be getting somewhat better at, but it seems like we've sort of went backwards in terms of compassion. Even if someone's opinion is different from your own, that's not a conversation ender for me, but we are at a time where I want to surround myself, well, not me personally, but that's what's going on around us. Is I want to surround myself not only with like-minded people, which is fine, but I want everyone around me to regurgitate basically what I already believe. And no one can introduce a new thought, without me feeling some negative emotion because someone said something that I may not believe or agree with. And I think that's a very bad time for someone who, for me, it's all about spirituality for me. And it's all understanding that we're all in these earth suits, and in these disguises. And you can be tricked or fooled into believing that this is who you really are. This is like going out for trick-or-treating, it's October, we're in October, and me getting my nice wonderful trick-or-treating costume, and I'm gonna use to go out and get my treats, and assuming that this costume is now who I am. Now I'm this costume, and this is where we're at now, that we have basically taken on our costumes and assume that this is who I am. No, it's a tool. It's if you're on the moon, you better have a moon suit. You better have a space suit if you're in space. And if you're on Earth, you better have an Earth suit, but it's not who you are. It's not your moon suit, your space suit. It's not who you are. So this is where we are, where we just basically have assumed, has basically just sort of accepted that all external things are who I am. And I'm so proud of it. And it's just destroying people spiritually. And we discussed in our last conversation when we first met, was that we are getting to a place of awakening. But the awakening that that's coming doesn't look like the way that we probably intended it to look or thought it would look. It's been more painful than we probably thought it would look. But, we don't have any control over how this unfolds, but we know that it's going to end the way that it's supposed to end. It's going to end well. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because we do have to get back to what you said, that higher heart that we need to tap into. And I definitely want to talk about how you infuse these things, but I'm listening to you say all these examples that you're giving me. It really has the same line. And the line is that what you did in every piece that you've were a part of, is you were able to tap into that higher heart. If it was working with students, if it was in the military, if it was writing a love letter, you was tapping into that higher heart every single time.
Thank you. Thank you for reiterating that, because that is what I'm blessed, I feel, to be, as sort of a vehicle for that. And I don't know about you, but my phone has been nonstop ringing off the hook
Mm.
from friends, family, and clients saying that they have come up against these sudden fallouts with friends, long-term friends and family members because of decisions that everybody makes individually that might not line up with the other person's idea of what should be happening.
Mm-hmm.
I have a letter, I call my letters inspired heart letters. So in other words, I have clients come to me when they are stymied, when they're stuck, when they are, they're tired of carrying the emotional baggage around with them, even if it's been a long-term falling out. And I will help to read their kind of channel in what needs to occur to resolve it in the best way possible. And let us not forget that every conflict that we run up against with people in our lives, we help to create it. Mm-hmm. Our soul called it up.
Oh yeah.
So we would have an opportunity to learn from it. It's when we
heal it.
Yeah, when we put the ignore button on, then it's like, oh, all men are like that, or all women are like that, or all people are like that. And it's because you haven't stopped to check it out and say, why am I drawing that particular experience to me? What do I need to learn from it? What do I need to bless out of it?
Bless out of it,
and
yes.
move on from it. So I get it. If somebody says, oh, my husband cheated and all the boyfriends cheated and men are all cheaters. Well, maybe that person didn't attend to that initial wound and realize that that's not in their purview anymore. It's no longer part of their experience. They don't need to understand that. And that actually, when we hold grudges for others, we are, and we've heard it before, drinking the poison that we want to hurt someone else with.
Yeah, exactly.
So I help to relieve the baggage. And I even spoke to this woman today. She's so sweet. And her, we took a deep dive into her childhood and what her beliefs she grew to believe growing up about herself and about relationships in life. And her current relationship, she is against the JJ, okay, and
the JJ, what's that?
Or what is it? I don't know if we can talk openly about everything on this show or not, but
yeah, we can. I mean, that's one of the wonderful things about podcasting.
Okay, so she is against the jab and didn't feel, and she already has a heart issue. She's an elderly woman, and her the man in her life of 7 years. Who actually had formerly worked for the CIA, by the way, under 2 presidents. And he has been vaccinated, and she is trying to enlighten him by telling her story about where the world is and how it's changing and how we all need to be. And he is not open to hear it whatsoever. So after 7 years of having, a pretty normal, whatever that is, relationship, he asked her to pack her bags.
Oh God.
Yeah. And her story is really an amazing story, but what she learned from it is, I think today she says, wow, I feel like a ton of bricks have been lifted off of me, because it's not about, she's taking it as a personal put down, when we really need to just own who we are, be all we can be, and allow, there's that word again, allow others to make their own decisions to whatever their calling is, whatever their soul, if you will, chooses to experience or not experience. So, and who is that woman that wrote the book, What You Think of Me Is None of My Business?
Okay.
And so that's kind of, on the same note. So rather than foister our opinions on anyone else. You can inspire by how you live your life and how you are. And if someone asks you, then yes, be open to that. But I don't think, demanding anything of others is going to be a win-win.
No, and this person shouldn't have to. I mean, if I'm asking you to change your perspective.
What was interesting in our conversation was she said, and I even cleaned his house for him. I said, what? And this guy is very wealthy, by the way. I said, you what? Yes, I cleaned his house. I cleaned his house all the time. I said, did he ask you to? No. Well, wait a second, Cinderella. Guess what? How about if you were to be the queen? How about he cleans your house? I mean, come on. So we get into this, if I do this, therefore I deserve that. And we diminish our own power. I mean, that may be hard to grasp for some people, but it's not, what have you done for me lately? It's how are you being? And would I want someone like me to be my best friend? Yeah, you would. Great. Why? And you start to reflect on what is precious about you. And then you shine that light out into the world. And this is not egocentricity, by the way. This is honoring the self.
Right.
You would be surprised how your life will change. Yeah. You'll enter a room and people will be like, oh my God, who is that? Seriously.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that in terms of, you have to be the light bearer. You have to be the person who, sometimes it's not easy, especially when you are the only one who's bringing in the light. But I would rather be the one bringing the light, because what happens if you are the only positive thing in the room, then you will begin to take on the negativity in the room, or someone has to leave, so or you can transmute and change the energy of that room. So we have to decide, if you want to be the light, then you have to stand. It's not always easy to do.
But, happiness is the best revenge. And laughter is medicine.
Yes, it is.
We're not laughing enough.
No, we're not. No, I think we have found some comfort, unfortunately, in disagreeing and being negative. There seems to be, even I was just mesmerized by this 60-minute piece that they did on the young lady who was a Harvard graduate, and she worked at Facebook, and now she's the whistleblower, and she was saying that they discovered through all their, people that, I think she was there to actually look at the statistics and look at how people were sort of reacting to the different things that were on Facebook. And what she discovered is that, and what Facebook actually even discovered, is that people were engaged more so in negative posts. And, of course, they make their money by keeping people engaged. And they said, okay, well, we will set up our algorithms to show more of negative things, because people will engage in those kinds of aspects more readily and things that are positive. So it's like, well, why is that? Why are we at a place where people will more easily and readily engage in some negative thing that's divisive than saying, okay, well, I don't want to see that. I want to see something that's going to get into that higher heart aspect of my being, instead of me engaging in a whole bunch of negative aspects of things that, you may believe or you may not believe.
I'm going to share this with you. Because of the work I do in composing other people's inspired heart letters and such, and I've been doing this, like I said, for 17 years, I thought, it's so much of it is channeled in, it's intuitive. And so I thought, well, I better go become a psychic. So I went to a 6-month program, Intuitive Insights, in San Diego to learn how to become a psychic. And I went through it and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And okay. And you got to do grounding chords and all right, I got it, and learn about the chakras and the electromagnetic system. Okay, that's great. So I graduate. Well, every month this training place had an opportunity to have a free psychic reading. So I thought, oh, why not? So I went down for my free psychic reading and they said, oh, you're not getting a reading, you're giving one. And I said, what? They said, you're a psychic. You've graduated. And I'm like, oh my gosh, seriously? They said, okay, we're going to put you with the senior psychic and you can be the junior. So they sat me with this woman and she said, as people come in off the street, if you get a message that you want to share, I will be giving them a reading. Just tap me on the leg and I will pause and you can share. And I said, okay. So one woman comes in and she starts reading for her and I tapped her on the leg and I said, wow, you're up all night worrying. You're so stressed out. Who is it you're so worried about? You can't even sleep. And she said, my 20-year-old daughter. And out of my mouth, without any forethought, I automatically said, worry is fear, the opposite of love. When we worry, whether it's about a circumstance, a person, a decision, whatever the case may be, when we worry, we curse it.
Yeah.
So we all are conditioned, or it's part of our innate, flight or fight syndrome, or
fight or flight.
Thank you. Yeah, your little root chakra is going, oh, I need to survive. So our nervous system can get taxed and alerted, and it's like, oh my gosh, what's next? I have to save myself. Well, so we all are prone to worry, but it's not healthy. And we are much more than that. We are higher beings than that. And as I said, with confidence. So my advice to the audience is to catch yourself when you do worry and shift it and start blessing the person, the situation, or the decision, even blessing it, seeing it in the best light possible. And the woman said, I never thought of it that way. And I'm thinking to myself, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Because I also had a daughter that I was worried about. My daughter was going through a lot of struggle. And when I caught myself worrying, I would stop myself and I would bless my daughter. Do you know that quite rapidly her whole life changed? Yeah. And it had nothing to do with me telling her what she should do or expressing my fear and worry about her decisions. Yes. She on her own changed. So the power it's sort of like the power of prayer.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And but just to alert yourself, if you do the worry business, not going to happen. And that's why when you talk about Facebook, they are they're promoting the fear zone to get people caught up in that. And what's the world going to be like if we're all stressed out and worried and, looking over our shoulder and, oh my gosh, what if? It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't work. So I want to say, because I know our time is coming to a close, but I want to say, I just want to let the audience know we started out with my music.
Oh yeah. I want to get back to that and the inspired letter. I want to talk about 2 stories about that before we close.
Okay.
And then of course the music.
Okay. So, all right. So the Inspired Heart Letters, that started when I had a neighbor who was dating this gentleman, and she really wanted to get married, and she had practically raised her 2 kids. And she said, I don't know. She goes, he's such a nice guy. He checks off on all the boxes. He's got a good character. He's got a job. He makes money. He's an attorney. He's fun. He's sweet. He's generous. He's kind. But that kiss thing, I don't want to kiss him. And she goes, I'm just not feeling the chemistry. And so I said, well, you can't lead him on. That's not fair. She goes, I know, you're right. But if I tell him how I feel, he even sent flowers recently, I'm going to hurt his feelings and I'll feel embarrassed and, I can't take it.
For years, I've used medicinal herbs because they are a great way to flush your kidneys and gallbladder, strengthen your immune system, de-stress your heart, and increase proper blood flow. Medicine Man Plant Co. is a Texas-based company that believes in using state-of-the-art best practices enforced by the FDA to ensure the best quality of herbs. Their herbs are blended from the world's best ancient plants and mushrooms, proven effective across thousands of years. Medicine Man Plant Co. uses modern science to powder and compress easy-to-swallow herbal capsules. They are powerful quality herbs that help you stay healthy. Try their Stone Breaker Pill if you want to flush your kidneys and gallbladder. The Blood Pressure Pill will help promote proper blood flow and circulation and also addresses high blood pressure. The Uric Acid Pill will keep your joints and extremities clean and pain-free. So go to www.medicinemanplantco.com to begin receiving herbal medicine like the liver pill, which will power up and protect your liver and detoxify your body, or even the immune pill that'll defend your body and support and strengthen both your innate and active immune systems. Again, that's www.medicinemanplantco.com.
So I said, all right, well, if the shoe were on the other foot, how would it feel? And so I said, why don't you write him a note? If you're not good with verbalizing, you're going to choke up on your words. Okay. Write a little note, put it in a card. Next time you see him, before you leave your dinner date or whatever, just say, hey, I've been thinking about our rapport, our connection. And it means a lot to me. And I wanted to share it. And I'm just putting it down in writing. So I want you to contemplate that or something. She goes, okay. So she comes back. She goes, well, here's my note. I said, well, that's disgusting. And I tore it up in front of her because it was the whole, it's not you, it's me. I really don't, I suck at relationships. I don't want a relationship right now. Lie. Saving or, face saving kinds of let me out the back door without really telling the truth. And I said, that's not good. And you're going to get karma for that one, by the way. No. And so I rewrote the note. And she said, wow, that's like perfect. She gave it to him and they remained dear friends. He married a gorgeous woman some years later. And he did handle one of her legal issues with no charge.
Wow.
So she started asking me for more letters for other things. Then her friends started calling upon me for letters. Then I was getting phone calls from different parts of the United States and Canada. And I just got off a cruise. I hear you write these amazing letters. Help me. And one woman she asked me to write a letter. She was divorced, but her husband was a mean guy. And
is this the nerd? Was that the nerd, the guy story that you told me before the last time we talked?
Oh, I can't even remember that story, but this one wasn't a nerd. This guy was really mean, and he had been abusive towards her in their marriage. So when they divorced, he was still threatening her, and she was afraid.
Oh, God.
So I wrote him a message, just a message. And she went, oh my gosh, you lifted the weight off my shoulders. And he never bothered her again. So what gets in the way of writing what we need or saying what we need to say is we do. It's the fear factor. It's the apprehension. And sometimes we're just too deep into the muck of it to really see the forest for the trees. I can come in with a broader view with my background in therapy, psychotherapy, human development, spirituality. And I have a way of sort of channeling in the right words for people. So
what are the components of writing a great match or Tinder profile?
Oh, that one. Okay. Yes. So when you want to, because I also write online dating profiles for people, and that's always a lot of fun for me. So it's really about there. Sometimes you'll get people that say very, quote, kind of silly, nerdy things, you know, the kind of personality that laughs at themselves, you know, before you get a chance to feeling. And it comes out kind of goofy. And then you'll have other people write things that are this laundry list, endless list of everything they want in their woman or their perfect man and what they bring to bear. But there's just all these must be, have to kind of jargon. And it's like, it's very daunting. And one gentleman, I think I shared this one with you because it's one of my most recent ones. His laundry list was so long, and his personality, he's a perfectionist. Okay. And he's hyper focused on everything. So it's like, well, so this is what I really mean to mean, but actually let me dial it in a little bit more, you know, never quite satisfied with making a mistake, if you will. And so his laundry list was substantial. And then at the end he said, and I would love it if my perfect partner really enjoyed her job. And I went, oh my God. Okay, next. Because women, so many of us love our jobs, love our professions. We want to work. That's cool. Some of us have to work. I get it. And if you love it, great. But when we're looking for our ideal partner, on the must be list should not be, and you love your job. You know,
that's pretty basic.
That's pretty basic. You know, women in general, because I know I'm going to get a lot of feedback on this probably, but in general would love to be with a man that would love for them to work in their beautiful expression or their creativity or their be a leader in the workforce or whatever it is, but without having to, you know. So the meta message was the fact that he brings it up. Either perhaps he had issues with other women in the past that complained about working, or
didn't love their job.
Yeah, or perhaps he just wants somebody to contribute to the family income, and so you must love your job. Maybe, you know, I mean, you could read a lot into that.
Yeah, I would feel sorry for someone who put in their profile, must keep a job at all times.
Right, I just exactly. So no, I think the profile should be real, but light and fluffy in a really good way, and enticing. And then you know, when I coach people about their dating experience, I encourage no more than 2 not so long phone calls before you actually meet in person. And when you do meet in person, and in the phone calls, you should have a little bullet list of things that are your must-be's that you don't dwell on, but you want to check off with the other person. And likewise, when you go on a date, don't be leaning forward and sharing it's all about me kinds of conversations, but sit back and allow and feel the energy of the other person, and calm down.
And calm down.
Calm down. Yeah.
So there's a phrase that you used when to get anyone's attention, you know, and that maybe you don't remember what it was, but I thought it was so genius. And you said, "Can I spoil you?"
Oh yes, that was the rewrite to this gentleman that had the laundry list of must-haves, must-be's. I said, I rewrote his profile within 5 minutes and just said, yeah, the first line, "Can I spoil you?" You know, I said, you're going to get the attention.
That will get anybody.
You can spoil
attention.
someone with kisses and hugs. You can spoil them with all kinds of delightful attributes. You can spoil them in a lot of ways. And yeah, it is, it's part of being human in the best sense of the word, is again that willingness to connect with another.
That's
and
the
it's
thing.
not all about me.
That the willingness to connect. That's the thing. And I think the trouble, even I've had. I'm bad at writing profiles and all that. And one thing that I value is your ability to engage and connect and find sentences, phrases that do that are able to get someone's attention where they want to engage with you, you know, and that takes for me, someone who can do that easily is like, how do you do this? But I think that's important because it's sometimes it's difficult when you're creating a profile for yourself to engage with someone basically on a app, you know, and then like, what is the way? And I like that phrase, like, can I spoil you? I like that phrase. I think that would be, I would put something like, what's up? My name is DJ. That's what I would put down as my header, you know? But I thought that was so cute to have that as a header instead of something that lame that I would use.
Yeah, if any of the audience wants to take a deeper look at those kinds of inspired thoughts, you can get my book. It's on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and all those sites.
And I'll have the link down in the show description.
Okay, perfect. And just FYI, I have the audio book, which came out about six weeks ago or so.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. And it has all my album embedded into it because all my songs are derived from real life experiences or experiences from people I worked with or knew. And so they're real love stories and they're real messages about relationships. So my performer's name, pseudonym, as you say, is Tina Rose. I'm a Kristine with a K, but Kristine Rose, last name is Grant. And all my Latina friends have called me Tina for years. And so Tina Rose sounded like a more musical stage name or performer's name. And as a bucket list thing to do is to create a full album. There's nothing like it. It was one of the most joyful things I've done. I think music touches the soul, lightens the heart, and it can create, depending on the verbiage and the frequency of the sound of the music and the rhythm, can also compel people to contemplate or to, to really, I mean,
it changes changes the energy of the room, and I believe that music is to raise our level. It raises our level. It causes us to contemplate.
Yes.
I think that is the value and to me the purpose of music itself.
Yes, it is. What would we be without music? Oh my gosh, right?
I think this planet would be probably there'll be nobody on it without it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So if anyone would like a gift from me, if they go to my website, which I'm going to apologize in advance because we're in the process of renewing it, so it's not quite perfected yet, but you can get a free ebook on with 5 keys to how to write your own compelling messages. So I give you some insights on that.
Yeah, give me the link to that.
Yeah, it's okay, so you can go to Inspired Heart. That's inspired with a D, inspiredheartletters.com. You should be able to find it there. My main website is my name, Kristine with a K, KristineGrant.com. And then if you go to my music site, TinaRoseMusic.com, you get a free download of a song, and there'll be I'm on all the platforms, so it should be there as well.
And I'll leave all those links in the show description, so they'll be right there for you to go.
Yeah. And so if you like saxophone, right? Because I've got
And all her songs are live instruments, so it's none of that
Yeah.
techno stuff.
Oh yeah, right. No, yeah, it's yeah. The main instrumentalists are the brothers Corin, and they followed Rod Stewart, Pink, Coldplay, Bon Jovi, and Journey all over the world. And they're from Australia, and I happened to meet them, you know, kind of thing. So I say, when you're open to receive, that's the thing. Don't close yourself off from receiving. Don't saying I need to earn my way to this or that. All is possible if we allow it to be so.
Allow. Yes.
Yes. So yes, I do have to run. I've got another Zoom call coming, but
well, I definitely enjoyed the conversation, and I again, we'll have the links to all those in the show description, so you can find your album and also your books. And I'm going to get your audio book. I do have an Audible account, but I get a free audio book every single month.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
Yes. So I was going, I already used my 1 credit this month. So I was like, I was trying to I want to get it. So I'm going to get your audio book next month. So I was trying to, contact you, I need the book. But yeah, I would definitely, because and actually you are the narrator for the book. And I really, so I really like that as well. So
yes, and I have a male actor who's reading all the letters nearly half my clientele are men. So for us, within the self-help world, that's a bit unusual, but I help a lot of men, and the areas or the dynamics covered are from A to Z. In other words, I help people that are single, looking for love, and how to navigate through the ups and downs of that. I help people to, I say, reheat the souffle in their marriage or partnership, to spark that, ignite the passion, and move past possible resentments that were built over time, or misunderstandings, or violations even. And so there's that. And then I also help people that are separated or divorced, and to be better co-parents.
Excuse me.
And how to deal with the entrails of all of that, or blended family issues, when there's new stepchildren and other in-laws and all of that. The dynamics that can come to play can be difficult with accepting the new spouse and all of that. And then also friendship falling outs and estrangement issues. That is a real tough one. In fact, I am going to be offering a webinar soon called Stranger No More. And I'll let you know, DJ, when that comes up. It's probably going to be in a few weeks. And so that's how to find those words for those long lost relationships. And you can't believe it. It's the biggest secret. People don't feel good about saying, hey, I didn't speak to my daughter for 30 years. I've helped people with that. Or I left my son 16 years ago, and I insulted one of them when we happened to connect again. And I can't believe I said what I said, and help. People feel overwhelmed sometimes with all kinds of regrets and shame, which is very low on the frequency meter. I help to raise that, and to help and to relieve that baggage.
And it basically is like how to say it, how to say what you really feel. How to say it. What's your approach? How do you string the words together? What words do you use? Words carry frequencies. Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just have beautiful stories. So in my books, and it's on Kindle, paperback, hardcover, and again, audio. My children's book is actually, we had the cards, we repurposed it and put that oracle of cards into one book, big guide called Be Friendship Focused. So if you see the cards on Amazon, they may be overpriced because they're being resold. right now what's available is the actual Be Friendship Focused book, but it has all the cards on 8.5 by 11. So it's a large book where you can thumb through and find that inspirational card for the day, as well as receive the scripted dialogue, which teaches any mentor how to help children. This is created for kids between 8 and 12, although all the lessons are universal and apply to any age.
Okay,
So,
definitely. 'Cause I did see the cards online. I did and I think I saw like $88 for it.
yeah, that's, I think that's way overpriced and not sold by the original Amazon. I don't know how they get away with doing that, but
Well, I'll try to find the original link.
yeah, well,
so that we can-
find Be Friendship Focused, and you'll it's like a coffee table book, but it's a guide. It's an 8 to 10 week process for helping children, again, ages 8 through 12, to come to terms with their own preciousness, and to teach them how to best connect and be successful in life.
Yeah, we need that, especially with this Facebook crap out there.
Yes, it's like, take the mask off. Hey, we know you. So, all right.
Well, I'm so glad that I had a chance to speak with you, and I definitely want to invite you back in the future and discuss maybe your webinar or any other things that you're working on in the future, or maybe a new album.
Yeah, you never know. Got another song in my heart that's coming up.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's a songwriter for you. It never stops.
yeah, and I love it. I just, we'll talk about that perhaps next time. And I would love to come back. And you're such an amazing and gracious host, and
thank you.
And I like to say my friend now. So
yes, I definitely been listening to your album, saying that's my friend right there. I know her. I know who she is. So yes, I do consider you a friend. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
I'm calling you out now, 'cause you never called me. I'm calling you out, babe. This ain't gonna be fun. Oh, you'll be so sorry you missed out on this one. I'm calling you out now. You just played with my heart. You got all my hopes up. Thought I found a new star. Oh, you left me high and dry. Oh, so it may seem. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. Gonna capture that dream. Well, you done me so wrong that I'm coming back strong. I'm bouncing back, Jack. Calling you out now. I'm calling you out. Never calling you back. I'm calling you out.